What's up, guys? Welcome into the Packers Total Access postgame show. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. You can email us, PackersTotalAccess@gmail.com. You can text us, 865-658-5824. Join alongside Tim in Green Bay. We got Emilio in Tennessee. We've got Jacob in Wisconsin. And my little portable air conditioner has just crapped the bed. This is going to be a rough night, boys. It's going to be a rough night here in the old studio. But the Packers obviously come away with a huge win here in the preseason, as big as one could be in the preseason, I guess. What was the final score, fellas?
23-10.
23-10. So before we dive into all the details, obviously we're going to hit the box score. We're going to talk about some of the highlights. We'll keep an eye on Twitter to see if maybe the Packers might go live. If they do with the presser, we'll try to take you guys to that and get you some of that information as well. But let's just start right off the top. Initial thoughts on the game here.
Grant DuBose. Have I mentioned Grant DuBose on this show before? Grant DuBose showed up, leading receiver tonight.
He looked legit.
I don't know where Bo Melton was, but I'll tell you what, Grant DuBose was here tonight.
That's true.
I'll say that I may have seen two roster changes happen in live time. I think that AJ Dillon may have just played himself off this team. Emmanuel Wilson may have just played himself onto the team. I could honestly argue the same thing for either Bo Melton or Malik Heath might have just lost a roster spot to Grant DuBose. That's my opinion.
Yeah. The AJ Dillon thing, we already talked about it before you even hopped in here, Jacob. Emilio said we were attacking AJ Dillon. Listen, it's one preseason game. I'm not ready to cut him yet. But
I'm sorry.
That was hideous.
He couldn't get us 1 yard with 3 tries. And at one of them, if you remember, he had a head of steam and he approached a guy who was on his knees recovering from falling down. And the guy on his knees was able to hit stick him, stand him up, and drive him back for 5 yards.
And the way he got to the hole, too. Like, you need a yard or whatever it was, 2 yards. It was stop, stutter, hop back and forth. It's like, bro, you have got – I don't care if there's a hole or not. You have got to ram the back of your offensive lineman right there. You got to. Emilio, you have the floor, sir. You said we needed to calm down with this slander on AJ Dillon.
I mean, I hear what you're saying. I do. I think you're being a little harsh on the guy. I mean, how –
he can block.
Where was the blocking? I mean, I felt like they had really good penetration against us. Honestly, like, I wasn't super thrilled with Telford on the corner. I think that yeah, all right. He got stopped in the backfield, yeah, but it was like 3 hats to the ball. I mean, he's getting hit in the backfield. I know, a little stutter step here and there, but I think you're being a little harsh on him. I didn't love the plays, the zones, no one's reaching, maybe it's some duo, something like that. It seemed like all the cutbacks were getting slipped by the defense.
All right, I hate to cut you guys off. We got everybody's initial thoughts, didn't we? Let's go to the podium real quick. We got Jordan Love there. Hopefully you can hear it. If you can't, we'll go away from it pretty soon. But you know how it is with some of these pressers. Let's see if we can hear QB1 here.
I'm excited watching this season.
Did you need any more snaps than what you got tonight for the regular season? Could you get a few more, or could you go into a plan?
Yeah, I mean, I think we could go into it just jumping in the season, but I think maybe getting a couple more snaps here in the preseason will be nice. I mean, like you said, we only got three plays tonight, so just being able to get out there, get back in that mode. It was nice to get in the game today, but I think getting a longer drive, putting a couple more plays up might be nice.
J Money.
You talked about him a little bit earlier in camp. What have you seen from him? And I assume what we saw tonight really was exciting.
Yeah, definitely not surprising. Since we started camp, Grant's been making plays every day. He's been controlling what he can control. When the ball comes to him, he's making big-time plays. He's knowing what he needs to do with his assignments in the block game, and he's just been a great player so far. So, not a surprise what he did tonight. He's been doing it all camp, so definitely looking forward to seeing more from him. But, definitely was not surprised by it. Thank you.
All right. So that was QB1. We'll keep an eye on Packers Twitter there to see if they go live at the podium again. But, initially I do want to say this. The first play, the first big play of the game, I should say, to Dontavion Wicks. Some of us are like, why did he only get 6 snaps at family night? Are they trying to hide him? They weren't hiding him tonight, boys.
Sure.
They come out. I've actually got this here. I'm going to pull it up real quick because this was a lot of fun, man. This play, we were talking about in the pregame show, how you can go from dagger and Haas, and you can kind of combine slot cross, Haas, dagger, all these things into 3 wide receiver sets and accomplish 2 passing concepts at the same time. Get kind of a high-low read on one side of the field and then take a matchup on the other. I'm going to find it real quick here for you guys. I've got the next-gen stats version of this, and hopefully you'll be able to see it and recognize it enough here. This is really clean. So we've got the numbers here on the screen too. So the play call was 11 gun, Trey Wright, Y flex, T weak, X curl, slot climb, Haas, T leak. All right. Obviously, it was a touchdown. Now, here's what I want you to notice. You can see my cursor here. First of all, 11 gun, 1 running back, Josh Jacobs, 1 tight end. That is our boy Luke Musgrave. Now, Trey Wright, 3 targets to the right, 1 of which is a tight end. Mm-hmm. Typically, the Trey Wright is where Jaden Reed is right here. Okay. But Trey Wright, Y flex means the Y is flexed out to the outside. That's where you see Musgrave. We talked about this. They've got to make a decision now. If they're in nickel, who is going to cover Musgrave? Are they going to put a DB on him? Are they going to walk a linebacker out there? If they walk a linebacker, what does it mean, Emilio, if they walk a linebacker out there?
That's
6. Yeah, exactly. It's man coverage, and that's 6. What's cool, though, when they ran the Haas concept here, and again, it was X curl. So Romeo Dobbs, remember we've been talking about Romeo Dobbs being that boundary X, boundary side of the field, short side of the field. He's the X. So you're getting a 1x3 with your halfback on your T on the weak side as well. So it's really a 2x3 if you put him in the pass route, and they did with a little leak play. Now, what we're talking about with slot climb, the technical slot here would be Jaden Reed. Your Z would be Dontavion Wicks. Okay, and then Musgrave obviously is your Y flex. So what they did was a slot climb. They ran a deep crosser or a climb route with Jaden Reed. They sat down with a curl with Dobby, so that gives you that high-low read on the left side of the field. And the opposite side was a Haas concept. It was a 9-fade to Dontavion Wicks with a curl to 88. So if they play soft and they don't play press, you've got 2 curl options on the outside. Then you had 8 leak out. We're going to play it here a couple times just so you can kind of see it here. And, I mean, he just cooked him, dude. He cooked him with speed, too. It wasn't like a fancy move.
Right. Yeah, run that back.
And of course, perfect ball placement by Jordan Love.
Yeah. Notice the pass rush, too. Watch Love sit in the pocket. Look at this.
Yep.
Absolutely awesome. People are going, what the hell are we playing? Atari 2600 here? What are we doing? I love
Clay,
stats.
At the beginning of the snap, just so I'm trying to get all these terminology jumbled, that's a tray set. If it was 3 wide receivers, it'd be the trip set. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
If it's a 3x set, typically there's 2 different types. Tray, which means one of those 3 targets is a tight end, or trips if it's 3 wide receivers. You nailed it, man. Because sometimes what they'll do is they'll go an 11 gun trips right, nub left, or Y flex left, which means they would have brung Musgrave over here by himself and put Dobby over there. That would have made it a trip set. And we typically call it nub if the tight end is attached and he's the only person on that side of the field, the only target on that side of the field. If he's flexed, then you would call it trips right, Y flex. Does that make sense? That tells everybody trips right, 3 wide receivers. Y flex means the Y will be flex opposite. And you'll obviously specify whether it's right or left. So
will you just take a peek at Reed, though? Selling that route, and it must have been Jordan Love too, eyeballing Reed the whole time. Watch the safety just decide. He's already sitting on the left hash. I'm committed 100%. I mean, that just opens up single coverage on the outside for Wicks, and got the dude did not turn his hips fast enough and gone.
Yeah, and that's where the read is too. Jordan's going to look left.
Yep.
Safety goes with the crosser. What did we talk about earlier today? I think it was me and Jacob that were live, if I remember correctly. Jacob, you remember we were talking about the Jaden Reed article and how he got double covered out of the slot a lot?
Yeah.
That's that. What are you seeing right here? You're seeing double coverage.
Yep.
To me, this looks like cover one hole. All right. And what that means is you're going to have a deep safety playing deep center field. And then you're going to have another defender playing what we call the hole or rat underneath, little mid zone, little hook zone. And then everybody else's man coverage across the board. As soon as the ball's snapped and he reads man right here, I guarantee you Jordan's going, okay, what's this safety doing? If the safety goes with Tay Wicks on the non-fade on the Haas concept, he's probably going to work his way to Jaden Reed on the climb. He's going to allow his guy to win that route. Now it becomes a high-low read if it's not man coverage because 23 is going to clamp down. You know you got all this space out here. But because 12 bots down right here, now he knows my matchup is 13.
Yeah, I mean, look at it. Keep it paused right there. Look at everyone sitting. We got 2 extra dudes on the left side of the field. I mean, you got the safety extra and 43 at the first down line. So Jordan Love said, I mean, we are man-to-man on the right side. I'm either going to throw that curl or that fades. You know, why not take the shot downfield? And dusted them.
Yep. And not only that, think about this. You started Trey Wright, and you end up post play 3 targets on the left, 2 on the right. You see what I'm saying? So it's a sweet play call.
Yeah, because I mean, you looking at it at the start, you have the hat count on the left side of the field, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
You only have 1, 2, 3, 4 guys on the left side of the hash. Mm-hmm. So I mean, we're good to go over there. But then you pull Jaden Reed, the linebacker sits. Josh Jacobs wheels out on the Texas, and it's over.
Yep. Ball game. And that was an absolutely perfect ball to Tay Wicks. And the thing that stood out to me about that play, Tay Wicks got some wheels. He's not known for his speed, right? He showed it on that play. I mean,
I can't wait to watch it again, just kind of like eyeballing it, see how he sets him up, see if he gets him to turn his hip sort of thing. I didn't get to really dive into it.
Yeah, absolutely. So there you go. I just wanted to show that real quick. I thought it was cool with that next-gen stats there. Obviously, we kind of opened up the game with that. I think Jordan, what was his numbers? I'll get that pulled up here in a second. Jordan's numbers, 2 for 2, 63 yards and a tutter. Let's just call it a day. Give me that ball cap, please.
I love it.
Yeah. Give me that.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else stick out to you guys early on? I've got all my notes here. I took notes like a weirdo preseason game, We're in here writing down every play, charting plays like a knucklehead. Second drive, the thing that stood out to me, on first down, they had Nixon covering the number 1 receiver. I was like, whoa, he was out there on the 1, right?
Yeah.
And he got burned. It was a first down. And then, of course, the very next play, Devontae Wyatt with the pressure, LVN got the sack. It was off a stump play, it looked like. So, obviously, that forced the field goal, made it 7-3. Am I the only one that thought LVN looked great tonight?
No, you are not, because the chat is chirping about LVN tonight. Let me tell you.
He had a sack, 3 tackles for a loss, and he looked very dominant. And he was in early, too. So it wasn't like he's just going against scrubs. And I really, really liked the way he played tonight. I just thought that he took an immense step. And for the first time, like, I looked at him and I saw how his body composition was compared to other. I was like, oh yeah, he really does look like Hercules. Like, he is just a beast, dude. The guy is very, very cut, man. So I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, we got the coach at the podium. Let's see if we can hear him real quick.
Throwaways right before we went out there and kicked the field goal.
Great lighting.
Big time in terms of just the execution. So we didn't have to kick off. You want to get that clock under 5 seconds. And he was able to do that. Would like to only have to do 1 throwaway, but we had to do 2. But all in all, I thought just his command, his presence, but credit to them. They did a nice job. They had everybody up there on that 4th down. It was gonna be quite a challenge.
And how helpful is it to run the kickoff and the kickoff rule against another team after just repping in practice so much?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of learning for all 32 teams across the league. And it's interesting when you watch other teams, their philosophy on it right now. So I think every opportunity, whether it's us out there or somebody else, is a learning experience.
Well, Ben Trump was saying last week, you expect it to be kind of buttoned down during the exhibition season. Do you kind of see it going that way?
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty simple. And I was a little surprised they kicked the first 2 into the end zone, but that's I guess their choice. I thought there was a lot of good things out there. I thought he was running hard. I thought he lowered his pads. He had a 23-yard run, so that was nice to see. He was able to stick his foot in the ground and get outside. And we all know the speed he has. He's got real speed. And the challenge to him pregame was make sure you're running your feet on contact and run through people. And I thought for the most part that happened.
Disappointing that why did you get a chance to see him in the football?
Yeah, I think he had 2 touches on the game. He had the reception in the 2-minute, and then he had the 1 carry, and then he goes out. And that is disappointing. But he's going to have to get healthy because we've seen what he's capable of doing in practice. You just like to see it in a real game.
All right, there you go. I think he was talking about Marshawn Lloyd there. Is that what he was talking about with the injury?
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Did they have his face obscured to protect his identity or something?
That's what
somebody under my name. I didn't type this, but they said LaFleur looks like a state's witness being hidden from the mob. That's got to be Jake. That was Jake.
It might have been me.
Yeah, that's definitely you. All right. So obviously we were talking about Lucas Van Ness. I just wanted to make sure we wasn't missing anything there with Coach LaFleur. Lucas Van Ness looks great. Who was it? Well, a lot of the chat was lit up over at Andy Monday. Said Luke Ness monster. There you go. Coach Lynn, I agree, Coach. He said LVN got bigger. He put on 10 pounds at least.
Thick.
Yes, sir. Yeah. And he did not look slow either, did he? I mean,
no. No, and I think his repertoire is getting bigger too, right? He's got more moves to his pass rush. He feels a little bit more comfortable being down in the 3-point stance, things like that. Move him around. Let him just get the feel for the game.
Yeah, absolutely, man. J. Cole confirmed Van Ness is a problem. Yes, he is. It was, like you said, the 3 tackles for a loss, Jacob, were probably more impressive than the sack there, man.
Yeah, I do think so. And like Emilio just said, it wasn't – don't get me wrong. He did. You saw the bull rush. That's basically his one move. But I saw him do a couple swim moves. I saw him do a spin move. Mm-hmm. I saw him at least just like, over exaggerate upfield and then just kind of cut underneath. It wasn't like necessarily I don't think it was a designed stunt or anything like that. Just kind of him reading and reacting. And I will exactly. I do want to drop a really quick because I had it at the tip of my tongue. And I think that Kalen King, Eric Wilson, Brenton Cox Jr., Javon Bullard flashed a lot. Javon Bullard, like he I don't think he got enough credit. He was in there for I think a good quarter, if not more. And he was flashing around to the point where he almost had that interception. Mm-hmm. He had a good pass breakup. He played hard in the run. I don't know if you guys remember, but there was like a pitch to the left where he came in, shot through the gap, through the linebackers, and made a play. It was a shoestring tackle. He almost missed it, but he got him down. And it was like,
he was coming downhill so fast. I mean, I think it was 3, 4, 5 plays. I saw him just bolt down there. I had to get used to, seeing him with the helmet on, but dude.
And what was great is when I thought they were going to pull him out, I saw him in the slot for like 5, 6, 7 snaps. And then I will say, I think the most impressed I was with a player today was maybe Evan Williams. He just doesn't look like the situation is ever too big for him. And like the Browns announcers were so stupid on the play where his helmet got ripped off and he drugged the guy down and they're like, oh, he's got his butt in his face. That's going to be, ooh. And it's like,
that's why you're the laughing stock of the league. Because that's the stuff you focus on.
I just couldn't believe Evan Williams looked like a baller, dude.
Yeah, they were trying to be like, oh, it's not as bad as Mark Sanchez. Like, dude.
Yeah, and it was back-to-back plays. That was the second of 2 plays.
Yeah, wasn't that more time?
Yeah, where he came in and got to stop flying to the football. He also got the forced fumble and recovered it. If you'll remember that on that drive. I believe that set them up to win the middle 8 as well. Those type of plays are absolutely huge. If we were to back up just a touch, though, and go to I guess it was the 3rd drive of the game when Clifford took over. So it was the 2nd drive for the Packers, third drive overall. To me, Clifford looked kind of bad. I don't know if you guys agree or not. At least early he did. First throw, real badly thrown behind. Then he overthrew one, but the defense got called for holding. End around to Bo Melton, dropped the ball, damn near fumbled it, right? Trying to get too cute with the end around to Bo. Then Dillon stuffed again. Dillon stuffed 3rd straight time.
Okay. Easy.
That's what I got. Mine says cut Dillon, sign Wilson.
There, Emilio. What else do you need? Okay. So that was tough, Emilio.
Do you think it's fair to say that Melton and Dillon had by far the worst performances, at least on offense? I think that's fair.
Who'd you say? Dillon and who?
Dillon and Melton. Melton dropped 3 money balls. 2 of them he had to slightly reach behind him, but Melton looked like dog crap today. He really did.
Yeah. John Kuhn was talking about that on the Packers feed. I'm blessed to get the Packers feed here in Wisconsin. And,
Tim.
a lot of those crossers, though, that ball is that. Yeah, I didn't have to put up with terrible announcing.
Lucky.
It was bad, bro. It was Chris Rose.
It was really bad. It was bad.
Go ahead, Tim.
He was saying that these balls that were a little behind, I mean, you kind of want that. You don't want to lead your receiver into the teeth of the defense and get his head knocked off his shoulders. So as a wideout, particularly a fast, quick wideout like Bo Melton, you got to be able to reach back and pull that in.
And it wasn't like Max McGee reaching back. It was just
right.
a slight,
just a little adjustment. And then he had the other one the third one was right on the numbers. I mean, I don't think that ball could have been thrown any better, and Bo just dropped it. So it could be just yips. First preseason game, guys. There's nerves going on. Going back to Clifford, we talked about Sean Clifford. I agree, Clayton. I think he looked shaky early on when he took over. And, again, John Kuhn mentioned this on the broadcast that one of the points of emphasis with him in comparison to last year's preseason was we saw a lot of comparisons to young Brett Favre, right? Clifford was humming that tater all over the field and, taking risks and trying to win it all with one throw every time. And they really wanted him to kind of settle down and hit some of these, more routine throws and stride and distribute the ball and run the offense. And I think after that first series that he looked kind of shaky, I think he started to kind of turn it up a little bit, and he found a little bit of a groove, man. He marched us down there before the half. That was great. Got us in a position to score. He also led a great drive there with that fourth down conversion, which set up the Emmanuel Wilson rushing touchdown later. So I don't think Sean Clifford has played himself out of that backup role. I will say Michael Pratt looked good later in the game at times. He flashed as well today, but I'm with you, Clayton. I think it was a shaky start for Clifford, but I think he turned it around though, and overall had a halfway decent day today.
He did. I think he ended up finishing the day. What was his numbers? He finished 10 for 19 for 111 yards. Didn't turn the ball over. He got sacked one time. It was a couple drives later, or actually the very next drive. Let's continue here. The very next drive, LVN run stuff. By the way, on that run stuff for LVN, unsung hero, Eric Stokes coming up and setting the edge. I was like, okay, Stokes. Yeah. Stokes looked pretty good. Do you guys agree with
had
that?
a good game. I agree with that completely.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then right after that, LVN with another run stuff and forced a punt. So LVN really showed up. Now, the next drive, end around to Torrey, second end around of the game, no gain. Clifford first down pass to Joe Wilson. Then you had Dillard with the false start. I just immediately thought of pre-game me saying, I think I'd take Dillard over whoever it was. I don't know if I feel like that now, fellas, but so he got the false start, and then Clifford threw behind Bo Melton, still a drop. It was a bad throw, but still it should have been caught, like you guys said. And that was probably the play Kuhn was talking about, where it's like he kind of put it to keep him out of harm's way. But I think it was the very next throw where he threw a high ball to Joe Wilson, and it was late on the sideline. Absolute hospital ball. Got him crunched. Yeah. So, it was definitely, like you said, I think he settled down a little bit later. They ended up punting on that drive as well. But did you guys see the Sean Ryan? Did you guys happen to see the Sean Ryan dragging Emmanuel Wilson?
No.
Oh, no, I got to show you, boys.
I will say this, though. I was pleasantly surprised with the way Sean Ryan played the center position today. I really thought there was going to be more mistakes, but there wasn't.
You see Emmanuel Wilson just grabbing. Watch.
Oh, he did just grab hold.
No, but that's okay. I'm glad you pulled that up, Clayton. That was the power sweep. Did you see that thing coming out? Because my man Monk, I wrote a note down on that one. Look at my man Monk.
Yeah.
Don't you remember that? Did you not hear the announcers?
Yeah.
They said, this is Lombardi's sweep. What you want to do is get a seal here and a seal here.
Listen.
And Wilson, the old Packers play they used to run.
Absolutely perfect. And the play before that, okay, I know you guys been cutting on my man, but our man Bo Melton on the split flow for Wilson's 9-yard run, I mean, he absolutely came back across and just filled the safety there. Absolutely put him to the ground. And then he got off with the 2. Okay, so put a little respect on Melton's name, all right? If he can block, he can make this.
Anytime we call for someone to be cut, Emilio immediately goes to the table. Look at this block he
Come on now, go back to the rewind. If we could go back one play, I'm telling you, you'd see it. Unbelievable.
Oh man! All right, next drive for Cleveland. Wilson, Eric Wilson lost contain as an outside linebacker. It was a 6-yard gain. Nothing huge, but still, he'll definitely get a negative for that. Wilson shoots the gap, but ran right by the running back. Did you guys see that when he shot the gap?
He almost still made the play too with an arm tackle.
Listen, that is what we're talking about with one gap. Okay, that's the perfect example. These guys are just shooting the gap. You're going to see that this year. You got to take the good with the bad. You're going to get a lot of tackles for loss, but you're going to get plays like that where they just run right up the field past them, But overall, I didn't think that Wilson played horrible. It's just those two plays really stood out to me. Then we seen Bullard in the slot. Williams and AJJ were deep, so they got McKinney out there early. That's what we were kind of hoping for, to get a lot of Bullard on tape. So in that specific situation, it looks to me like Bullard, as it sits right now, is the backup slot defender. And Williams, they're going to be quick to throw him in the starting lineup if they need to. Now, it's just one preseason game, but that's kind of how it felt to me. Read option, Brenton Cox Jr., when he bid on the running back. Did you see that one? That's Brenton Cox Jr.'s. That's his MO.
That's his MO.
He's always aggressive, right?
He almost corrected it. He could tell as soon as he realized that he's like, oh no. And then he almost had that athletic ability. DTR is a good quarterback.
He is, man.
He's one where they talked about how they had 4 quarterbacks on their roster right now, and all 4 of them should make a 53. Doesn't mean that they're all going to be with the Browns, that possibly 2 of them could get cut and get signed somewhere else. DTR he looked very poised, very athletic. That guy's going to have a future. I imagine just being the Browns fan, you've got one of the just worst people ever as your quarterback, who's getting literally the most highest paid quarterback contract of all time, and he just kind of sucks. How do you not like that organization, for all the quote unquote work they've done and how they've brought it up from the ashes? It's still a heaping pile of burning poop.
That's for you, Jacob.
We still talking about the Browns, or are we talking about the Bears?
You put it up there, Emilio. Read it. I'm going to make you read it.
Jacob would say that Cox really exploded into the backfield on that play. Good stuff. Definitely good stuff.
Hey, Brendan Cox did look explosive on a few plays. He did get over aggressive, but there was a couple other plays where he played really smart, and I saw the reason why he's probably going to be making this team.
Oh, I think it's going to take a whole lot of him doing things wrong to not make this roster. You're right. He looked good coming off the edge there, man.
I agree.
No doubt about it. So,
what do you think about Kingsley coming off the edge? Let me ask you. Kingsley. Oh, was that a dig at him, or did you not hear me?
No, I didn't hear you. I thought he looked okay. He looked like he finally was trusting that knee. I saw him get across, chasing the quarterback down while he rolled out to the right on one play.
He looked like he was
he just missed that. Yeah, he delayed just a little bit. If he would have just pursued a little bit faster, and you could see him as he's getting away. He goes,
that's really. I mean, that's all I was happy with. He was going 100%, right? I mean, you got to be able to trust it enough to go full tilt, and I think he did. He didn't make a couple of big plays or anything, but I think he played well.
Yeah, and here it was in the second quarter, Tim. This is what you were talking about. I've got nothing but green marks here for Clifford. Clifford play action pass to Heath. Clifford to DeBose, 4th down conversion. Free play caused by Clifford to DeBose on an out route. Emmanuel Wilson, 1st down run for 10 yards. Emmanuel Wilson, Sean Ryan lead block. That's when he was dragging him, of course. And then Emmanuel Wilson with the touchdown. All that got sparked by play action passes with Sean Clifford, and then also getting the defense on their heels by doing that hard count. That's little things like that will win you ball games if you need a backup to come in and win you ball games. So he definitely settled down in the second quarter there, Tim, like you were saying.
Yeah, I agree. And that one, I believe that 4th down conversion was that toe tapper to Grant DeBose. Yes. That was an absolute dart by Sean Clifford and a hell of a catch by Grant DeBose.
As that text came across, Tim, I looked up and it's just drag. Thank you.
And guys, I've talked about him so much this past offseason because we heard a lot of talk about Jaden Reed and Tay Wicks putting in the work, in the offseason. Bo Melton too, working out. But nobody talked about Grant DuBose. And I saw the little YouTube shorts of Grant DuBose putting in work when everyone else was on the boat, partying and enjoying their time off. This guy was putting in work, and you're literally seeing it pay off here in the first preseason game. And I'll tell you what, if he has another game like this, that guy's not safe on the practice squad. I'll tell you that right now. The league is on notice. Arguably after today, he strings another performance or two like this together again in this preseason. Watch out. Not only is he probably going to make the team if he continues to play well, he's definitely, you're not going to be able to hide him on the practice squad. I don't think that's going to happen.
I think that's, so I was just going to say, I think that's the exact, I think Emmanuel Wilson and Grant DuBose played a game today that said, hey, go ahead and cut me because I'll go get signed somewhere else today. I think both of them firmly planted that flag in the ground and said, I am going to be a Packer or I'm going to be signed by someone else. You're not sneaking me onto any practice squads.
All right.
Yeah, definitely. I was trying to see here. Yeah, so that was a TE stunt, one of the sacks that Lucas Van Ness got. I'm going to share it here real quick. Hopefully we can accomplish this. What's wrong, Jake?
Nothing. Coach just kind of reiterated. He goes, DuBose is making this roster.
That's right.
He says Wilson is making this roster.
I'll tell you, man.
Right.
You heard it from a coach.
You heard it from a coach.
All right, here you go. Here's the LVN. See the stunt, the TE? Watch our boy Carl Brooks go out, take two guys on, bang.
Yeah.
Dude, and Carl Brooks, we watched that on tape. He did that last year. He's absolutely selfish in the fact of giving up his body to take out so that, another one of his teammates can make that rush.
Yep.
And then what's great is Wooden got the sack. Wasn't that right?
Yeah, that was Kobe Wooden's sack. I apologize. And you see he's fighting through too, man. Like he's chasing that play down from behind there.
Can't give up on it.
Yep. Devontae Wyatt looked good today on a couple plays too.
Did you see him get in there and cause that first sack, right? Was it?
Yep. This D-line group has taken steps forward already, and under the new direction, Coach Ogobasi, man, really, Kenny Clark getting that extension and really fully grabbing that leadership role and helping to mold these guys into a effective unit. It's great. And then, how can you not love seeing, Rashawn Gary and Preston Smith and LVN with their hand in the dirt? I mean, guys, I'll tell you what, did anything else stick out as much as the fact that we got a run defense now? There were times today, man, that they could not run the ball.
Did you see what they were showing too, Tim? They were showing a 4-3, the 4-3 front. They were going under the majority of the time, which is really, really cool to see someone play under and stop the run. They were going 4-3 under, which means the D tackles are shaded to the weak side, and they were bringing a safety into the box to play spurt.
Yep.
So what you got is a 4-4 hybrid. If you watched college football in the 90s like I did, 4-4 was like that was your go-to defense against the run.
Single high, right?
Yeah. Single high, 4-4.
Yeah, and you saw Evan come down right on a couple of those, fill right in there, mark his man. You saw, I think it was Evan or Bullard walk right up to the line. I mean, he was inside. He was probably in like the 5-7 gap head over the tackle with the wide 9 outside of him, but he's already on the line of scrimmage ready to, engage.
Yeah, and then you've seen, too, when they got them into obvious passing situations, they went to that wide front. They had the D tackles stretched out wide, trying to get that center on an island, not blocking anybody. Really, really cool to see that kind of come together.
I think that's one thing they need to kind of just keep their lanes. Still got to keep that pocket smushed. They got outside what they did. I mean, they have athletic quarterbacks, so it's not like we're stuck going against pocket passers.
Yeah, so that next drive that we were talking about, that LVM pressure wooden sack was actually that ended the drive there too and forced a punt. So the Packers were up 14-3 with that punt. Then right before halftime, I think they called timeouts there too because they wanted the ball right before halftime, right? Which I thought was excellent strategy by Matt to say, hey, I know it's a preseason game and we're not trying to run the score up. Obviously, we ran it down their throat at the end and then kneeled on it. I thought that was classy as hell.
Yeah.
Great job by Clifford, too, there when we were out of timeouts to just – he saw a couple of those plays and nothing was there. He just threw that ball out of bounds. Yep.
And you had Clifford to DuBose there in that final drive of the half. Clifford to DuBose for 23 yards. I think that was a sideline shot. Yep. And then, of course, Anders Carlson with the 46-yard field goal before halftime, setting you up to win that middle late. To me, both kickers kicked good today. Anders looked damn good today, boys. Yeah. He looked good.
He snuck a couple in, though.
Approach on the extra points. You guys notice that? He's at least that's what stood out to me is when he lined up for that extra point, man, he was more straight on top of the ball than he was last year. He was a little wider. on his approach on those extra points. And it looked to me like he changed some of his technique this season.
Meaning he's not coming at from an angle. He's just more straight.
He's more straight on the ball. Yeah. I mean, slight angle, of course, you got to be a little to the left of the ball as a right-footed kicker, but not as much. It was definitely more pronounced, in my opinion, last year. It'd be fun to maybe watch a couple extra points from last season, see where he was addressing the ball. But that was one change that looked obvious. And then that field goal he had today that looked wide right coming off his leg, and then it was just perfect English. It kind of came back. It was like hitting a fade shot in golf. The ball just came right back where he wanted it. So
I've been working on that, Tim. Let me tell you, man. PGA Tour, we've been hitting it.
That boy, Emilio. I think Anders is where Jordan was kind of early last season with his throws, when we were seeing him a little later, a little early, and just a little off, and then all of a sudden something kind of clicked for Jordan. We're going to see that with Anders Carlson. I think he's kind of honing in his skills here and his approach. I still think it's his job to lose. But yeah, certainly some competition. Both kickers looking pretty good today for sure.
Yeah, Jacob, what were you going to say about Anders?
I don't know.
Oh, I thought you weren't happy. I thought you weren't happy with his kick because they were too close to the post or something like that.
Oh no, I mean he snuck a couple of them in for sure, but it just matters.
How dare you?
Yeah,
almost only counts in what is it? Horseshoes and hand grenades. So
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
One thing though, so Dan here was saying that I was impressed by Caleb's run blocking. Dude, I don't want to sound like a mean person or whatever, but Caleb Jones and almost Kadeem Telfort look almost physically too big to be able to like be a tackle. Like they look so abnormally large that I don't feel like they could do. I mean, I felt bad for their body as they were just like trying to like kick out their stance and stuff. And I'm just like, Caleb Jones, and I'm just like, oh my God, like, how are you? How do you? What? It just looks so uncomfortable for him to even. He can't quite get into a stance. He just kind of.
Do you notice that he doesn't get very low on the stance? Because
I was just gonna say
he can't get back up.
He just kind of sits there like, "Oh Lord, please."
That's what I'm talking about with the knees, man. When he's standing there, it's like his knees are folding in. I'm going, be careful, big fella, please.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot of boy out there, man.
Just preemptively put those stabilizer braces on him and just let him.
Thank you, Coach. I was going there next. I mean, I know you guys were talking
get
about
out of here.
But come on, did you see Caleb Jones try to engage on one of those pass blocks and just whiffed? Luckily,
You know what's crazy? Caleb looked better at the left side today.
Yeah.
This is the most I've seen him play left tackle, and he looked better on the left side than he did on the right side.
I was happier with Glover at right tackle than Tenuta. I'm gonna be honest.
Wow.
What's that Michael Scott invention? The chair stool where you lean back and your pants become a chair. That's what Caleb Jones needs. That poor guy. He just needs to be able to slightly tip back into a little pants stool. And that way he doesn't have to come out of his stance. Tenuta, I agree. I was hoping a little bit more out of him. Kadeem Telfort, he did. He looked like Quasimodo, as if Brett Favre would describe. He looked a lot top heavy. At this point, I really do think that there might be some wealth and some really deep knowledge in going out and getting a swing tackle. Because I'm telling you guys, I don't have a lot of confidence in our offensive line past the starters. I just don't.
Well, you open up the third quarter, the second half. Evan Williams forced fumble and recovery set Green Bay up perfect. They're leading 17-3 at that point. Very next drive, Marshawn Lloyd, 8-yard bounce out. Looked good on that one run, boys. Marshawn Lloyd, I guess he hurt his hamstring. Is that what we're hearing? So he tweaked his hand. So. Is that funny to you, Jacob?
I believe that's what happened.
No, I'm just somebody was referring to Michael Scott's invention, the toilet buddy.
Oh yeah,
those are great.
It's just got holes so stuff can pass through.
It can catch, it can catch your wallet and keys and
keys.
Hey, it was almost as impressive as Shoo La La, right, guys?
It's not ready yet.
So third quarter, Marshawn Lloyd, 8-yard bounce out, leaves the game with that hammy. I'm assuming it was after that play. Clifford, another boot action to Joe Wilson for 17 yards. Huge play. Set up a Greg Joseph 30-yard field goal. Nice kick there. Very next drive for Cleveland, Brenton Cox Jr. with the pressure, forcing incompletion. Kalen King in the slot, stopping that halfback flat. Did you see him come up and lay the pop? Did you hear the noise on the telecast?
He schmucked them. Schmucked them.
Give him the old schmucker. So obviously they forced a punt there. Packers lead 20-3. Next drive, Emmanuel Wilson just takes over. 8-yard run. Emmanuel Wilson, 23-yard run. Pratt to Malik Heath on the drag route for 8 yards. Anders Carlson, 33-yard field goal. Packers lead 23-3. And then you get a little later in the game there, missed tackle by AJJ. I noticed that on one play. I don't want to pick on Anthony Johnson Jr., but that missed tackle reminded me so much of our entire DB room last year.
Yep. And
this year, Evan Williams and these cats, Javon Bullard, they look like they're totally different. And hopefully, who knows, maybe that will revamp Anthony Johnson Jr.'s game, because he was going off of what the expectation Savage was setting last year. Jonathan Owens, who hope you've enjoyed the Olympics, sir. We're playing football now, but, I just hopefully Anthony Johnson Jr. can kind of pull it together, because I'm telling you right now, it looks like he's the fourth safety on this roster, which is just wild to think about.
The thing with him, though, that's what he has to work on, is the tackling in the open field, tackling in general for AJJ is something he's got to work on. I feel like his coverage instincts and his coverage skills are coming along, like he's developing as a player in that respect. But, when you got a guy making a catch and it's 1-on-1 and you get hands on him and he just flings you off like nothing, that's a technique issue. And, we all know, Anthony Johnson's not the biggest dude out there. He's kind of a wiry, smaller DB, but you gotta wrap up, do whatever you got to do, throw a hip drop in there, see if you can sneak it in, whatever you got to do to get that guy down. But that was tough to look at, and that didn't do him any favors for his chances of working up the depth chart. If anything, I'm starting to get those crazy thoughts about practice squad for him in my head right now. But I don't want to overreact. It's only one preseason game, right?
I will say he did fill on a guard pull, or it was either a guard or a tackle pulling on a sweep play. He did fill and blow that up in the backfield. So I mean,
Anthony Johnson Jr.
Yeah.
Okay.
That I remember seeing. He came downhill and I remember the announcers, hey, if that play didn't get blown up, he really had a nice shot there, but he did come down. But I know what you're saying. I mean, I do want to see him tackle a little bit better, things like that. But it's all
they're using him downhill. That's new to him then, because we weren't sending him on those in Joe Barry's scheme.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, it's perfect. I'm excited for all of them to go through the tape, right? Monday is going to be a huge day for 55.
And if you heard LaFleur, his opening comments there at the presser, he's like, he usually it's, we played pretty good. We got a lot to clean up. He was like, I felt like the guys played pretty good across the board. Like he sounded really confident. Like, hey, this is, I mean, what's hilarious is the conversation on Sports Talk in Green Bay, Wisconsin on Friday was, man, this offense is really struggling. Are they going to be able to put it together? Love comes out and just throws a damn dart, second play of the game, third play of the game. And he goes, all right, I'm going to the sideline, boys. Have a good night.
Exactly what Matt said in his presser the day before. They're like, well, what would be perfect for Jordan Love? I don't know, go out and score in one play and the defense come out and have a pick on the first play and take them out.
Love said, we'll do that.
Yeah.
That sounds good. So Pratt enters the game, hit Hicks for 23 yards. Obviously, they end up punting on that drive, but that was a pretty throw there on the 23-yarder. The thing I was excited about, did you boys see Michael Pratt throwing hands out here? Did y'all experience it?
Oh, that was cool, dude.
So watch this. This is going to be a running play left, right? Look at Pratt get out here. Come here, boy.
Hey, he sprung him for an extra 10 yards.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about it, man. That's not one of those BS. I mean, that literally, you're right. They got another.
And that's a little side kick in there, too.
He gave him that little UFC forearm, too. I like that.
I like this right here.
Oh, he did. He gave him the people's elbow.
Gave him the old Chuck Liddell. I like that.
He almost pulled a butt cheek right here, though. That's not what you're looking for.
That's the finish line.
That's the Naruto run.
No, he's reaching. He's crossing the finish line right there.
You know what he kind of looked like there at the end? He kind of looked like
Musgrave stayed on his feet.
He kind of did, Tim. That's a good call. I'm trying to think, is this a misdirection? I believe it is, yeah. That looks like it's designed, don't it, Emilio?
Yeah, it kind of looks like a little RPO too with the bubble there. If you like the numbers, but
they took the hat count on the left, didn't they?
Yep. But I mean, that's all I was saying was it didn't seem like our line was opening up a bunch of holes. I know it's later in the game, but we didn't create a bunch of holes with some of these, zone runs.
Dude,
so I'm wondering if Matt's going to look at that, maybe do some, because we did well on the powers and pulls and some of the traps and the split flows and things like that. So I'm just wondering what he's going to do moving forward.
Watch Emmanuel Wilson smack right here. Get on.
Look
You see that swarp?
Yeah.
Watch him swarp right here.
I got a pterodactyl in here. I got to take care of it.
He just runs so, it's like aggressive but controlled at the same time. It's amazing.
Absolutely. And I understand what you're saying too, Emilio. Like those runs with AJ Dillon early that we were critiquing him on, there was nowhere to run.
Right.
It wasn't like there was a hole. My problem was situational awareness. That's a third and short. You gotta see that, lower your head and smack that thing, dude.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta make the hole. And if you're not willing to do it, just the problem I have, foot in the ground, hesitated, bounce left, bounce right. Like, what are you waiting on, bro? You are 245 pounds and 5% muscle or 5% body fat. I'm 5% muscle. He's 5% body fat. Just smack the line and get the yardage. Do what you got to do. I know
our guys better wake up with their piss hot, like I said before. So
I know it's not as simple as that. Don't get me wrong. It's easier said than done, but it's just like they said, when you see these other guys get in there and they're just so fluid. And then it just, to me, AJ Dillon just looked like it's almost like the defense knew he's not gonna be able to cut back on us and he's not gonna be physical with us, is what it kind of felt like. So.
I just can't reiterate enough. If we can watch and go back, Dillon had a run where he broke just a little bit outside the guard, slipped between the tackle, had a running start, a 3-yard running start, and the guy that initially made the tackle that stopped him was he was falling to his knees. He hit his knees and then hit AJ Dillon, who had a running start momentum, and AJ Dillon got driven back 3 yards by the guy that was and made initial contact while he was on his knees. That to me is unforgivable. It was a cornerback. The guy, like you just talked about, he's 240 pounds, has a head of steam running downhill. And then he had 3 consecutive downs where all he needed to do was just give us a yard, and he couldn't do it. That right there, I'm sorry. If you're doing it, and the Browns weren't playing their starters, guys. We were going against their second team defense. They weren't playing their first team offense either. So that
Jay in the chat says exactly, Clayton. There's no reason why Dillon can't be a human meat missile and pick up that first. So Jacob, you created a damn monster with this show. I just want you to know. And I don't appreciate it. That's all I got. All right. So so AJ Dillon, 4 carries for 2 yards.
Oh God.
Oh gosh, Eric Sutherland.
I was just saying, dude.
Don't
Anyway, I think we need to cut the slander and give him 2 more preseason games before we make the decision.
I agree. I agree too, Emilio. I'm with you.
I'm ready to cut.
I was waiting for it.
I really am, dude. I'm sorry. I saw all I need to see. He was so tentative. He was so I don't know what.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this, Jacob. You'd rather have Marshawn Lloyd, who's got a hammy injury right now, over AJ Dillon?
My knee.
I want Eric Wilson, and I also want Merriweather. Merriweather looks like he runs with his piss hot.
Pretty good today.
Okay, so we'll cut the 3rd round pick, right? I talked about that a week ago. Everyone was saying we're not going to cut him.
Jarvion Howard too.
Howard looked better than Dillon.
He was going against the fifth stringers, right? But like you said, though, Dillon was going against second stringers.
Dillon averaged a half a yard today. I don't need that from a guy who's 240 in a 3rd round pick. I know where
Emilio's coming from, and I feel
John Deere green on a hot summer night. He rode Billy Bob loves Charlene.
Jacob, you better straighten it up. You better straighten it up right now, Jacob. Just tell him. So let's look through the stats real quick here. Sean Clifford, 10 of 19 for 111 yards. Jordan Love, 2 for 2, 63 yards and a tutter. Called it a night. Michael Pratt, 5 for 7 for 46 yards. Emmanuel Wilson led the way on the ground, 13 carries for 67 yards and a touchdown. Right now, I want Emmanuel Wilson to have every opportunity possible to be the second running back on this roster. That's just me personally.
Yep.
Jarvion Howard, 8 carries for 44 yards, had a long of 16. Julian Hicks, 1 carry for 14 yards there on the end around. Marshawn Lloyd, 1 carry for 8 yards, pulled a butt cheek. Josh Jacobs, 1 carry for 7 yards. Ellis Merriweather, 2 carries for 7 yards. Bo Melton had an end around for 4. Sean Clifford ran 1 carry for 2 yards. AJ Dillon, Emilio, it's hard to look at, man. I understand what you're saying, but Sean Clifford averaged more yards per carry than damn AJ Dillon.
Okay, all right. I got Smitty on the side at least.
What'd he say?
Said hot take for the chat. Agree with Emilio. Thank you, Smitty. About time.
About time, he said. So the Packers had 34 carries for 155 yards. Pretty decent day on the ground, right? Not too bad.
Can we just real quick? Let's look at what the Browns did
on the ground.
21 carries for 56 yards, guys. That's pretty darn impressive.
Holy crap! A run defense.
Oh my God!
Where did that come from?
All right, so receiving, Grant DuBose, 5 receptions, 66 yards. He only had 6 targets, too. Hell of a game by Grant. Dontavion Wicks, 1 target, 1 catch, 65 yards and a touchdown. Joe Wilson, 3 catches for 30 yards. Joe Wilson, is he a receiver or a tight? He's a tight end, right?
He's a tight end. I think he's a practice squad eligible man right now. He looked really good. I really was impressed with him.
I agree. 3 targets, caught all 3 of them, even the hospital ball that Clifford threw to him. Julian Hicks, 1 target, 1 catch, 23 yards. Malik Heath, 4 targets, 2 catches for 22 yards. Bo Melton, 4 targets, 1 catch, 12 yards. I mean, that's again, he's going to have 2 more games and 2 more opportunities to beat out Grant DuBose on this roster. There's no doubt about it. You can't just disregard what he did last year. But Grant DuBose showed up and showed out tonight. There's no doubt about it. Samori Toure, I don't know if you guys noticed, but they gave him a lot of special teams looks. It kind of feels like he's playing for his football life right now. I think they're trying to say, okay, is he bring any value at special teams? If he don't, let's get him out of here is what it kind of feels like.
It's really hard for him to make this team now.
And honestly, I feel like he could make a squad somewhere else because he has been a good player. He's been, nothing special, but he makes certain plays every now and then. And I think he could be a 5th receiver on a team easy in the NFL.
So it's showing Christian Welch with a fumble recovery. I thought it was Evan Williams that recovered that fumble that he caused. Did you guys see that different?
Oh, I thought it was Welch that got it.
Yeah. Maybe it was, and I might be wrong. I thought Evan Williams forced it and recovered it. I can show you the play here in a second, but nonetheless, Evan Williams forced fumble. 6 solo tackles. He was just all over the place. Christian Welch, 6 total tackles. Raylan Goforth, 6 tackles. I thought Isaiah McDuffie looked good early, too.
Yep.
I thought he flashed big time.
Van Ness.
Yeah, Van Ness, 3 tackles, 1 sack, 3 tackles for a loss. Kobe Wooden with a sack and a tackle for a loss. Yeah, I guess Kenny didn't even play, did he? Kenny Clark?
No,
I don't think so.
Hey, you know who also had a quietly decent game? Robert Rochelle.
Yes, I was going to say so did Aaron Mosby. Aaron Mosby was in.
They both made some decent special teams plays as well.
Nice.
I agree. I think after I've seen enough today though. Evan Williams is the steal of the draft, guys. That guy is a freaking football player. I love it.
He really is.
It seems like it. And if the roles had been reversed and Javon Bullard had played the majority of the snaps and Evan Williams had just played a short stint, we might be saying the same thing about Bullard. But there's no doubt about it, Tim. Like Evan Williams, he absolutely jumped off the screen, man. He was just so much quicker.
In which round did we get him again? Remind me.
I think the third, I believe.
Third.
Was he third round? Okay.
Now, you're probably thinking it was later because on my board, I had him in the basement, didn't I, Emilio? I had him way down there.
Who's that?
Evan Williams.
No, I thought we got him in the 4th.
Yeah, I was just going to say because Hopper was the 3rd, and then Williams was the 4th.
I didn't see. Was Hopper out there?
No, he didn't play, I don't think.
No. Yeah, okay.
I thought Marshawn Lloyd was the 3rd round pick.
Yeah, he was.
I thought we had 2 3rd-rounders.
Yeah, Evan in the 4th, and then Home Depot in the 5th. So
okay.
I had Evan Williams as my 16th ranked safety in the draft.
Right.
And this dude looks like he might be a top 5, top 3 safeties in the draft. Just the way he's playing. And again, it would be different if it was just one preseason game and not training camp, or just training camp and not a preseason game now. He's just showing up every single week, man. It's pretty wild. So I love that they keep trying to curb the enthusiasm around it too. That's the way you want to handle a young player. But Anders Carlson, perfect today, 2 for 2. His long of 46 also hit his only extra point. Greg Joseph, 1 for 1, and then hit his only extra point. That 1 for 1 field goal was from 35 yards out. Daniel Whelan, by the way, he's an absolute weapon.
Yeah,
that dude is good, man. Yeah. Two punts for 91 yards, had a long of 51.
Got a high snap down for one of those field goals today too. He's very underrated as a holder, underappreciated as a holder. That he brings a lot of value.
Yeah, and I forgot to hit on this. The last drive that I had charted here before I started prepping for the show, Jake, if you'll like this, Brenton Cox Jr. pressure, but he missed the tackle on the sack. So you've seen 2 missed tackles where he had someone in the backfield. If they can hone him in on that, I'm telling you, that dude's got a nice little skill set, man, for sure. So obviously you got the personal foul there by LJ Davis that led to the touchdown, which it was a first down. It's going to be first and go inside the 3 anyway, but I think that's that guy's name, LJ Davis. He probably won't be around much longer, to be honest with you. But I'm going to go and pull this up real quick. I want to look at that Evan Williams, the Evan Williams fumble, because I'm pretty sure, to me, it looked like he recovered it. You guys tell me what you think. It's going to be kind of hard to see, too, because it's so – I don't want to go full screen here, but I'm sharing my Twitter. See him right there? No, it was Welch that grabbed it, wasn't it? Did you see it?
Your profile popped up right in front of it.
Yeah, sorry about that. So you see he forces it, and then Welch right there.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Evan was right there on it, though.
Yeah.
But again,
I did watch Evan punch a few times before that, too. You know, he was always, even when the quarterback was running, he was throwing that fist in there trying to punch it out.
Yeah. What's crazy, too, is like Evan Williams is off the screen right now, Emilio.
Yeah.
He's off the screen.
He did that a couple times, even on that run play when he came up and stuck him. Do you remember that? He came up and absolutely filled.
Bang.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Anthony Johnson Jr. fired up right there, flexing. I love it, dude. Look, Stefanski's like, well, crap. A long day at the office. That's what you're looking for.
Another season in Cleveland.
He's like, I should have never took this job from Kevin Costner.
I should have stayed in Minneapolis, but they were burning the city to the ground.
Oh, that's right.
Anyway. Sorry, I had to sneak that in there. If you guys would hit like for us on this video, appreciate y'all. God. Okay. Don't hit like. It's okay, Jake. Dennis Shook says, Chris Farley voice, say it again.
I can't. I'll go too hard.
For the love of God, hit the like button.
That's pretty good.
You call me anything you want, but don't call me that.
Oh, man. I know this.
That stadium looks like a van down by the river there in Cleveland.
Yeah, it kind of does. They're going to put a dome over it because not even God wants to look at that place. Emilio, next week, if AJ Dillon comes out and lights it up, you're going to be insufferable, aren't you?
Oh, I'm just going to say, you guys just need to give him a second. I mean, geez, it's like, all right, when you start up a tractor, okay, you're not going to just go 8,000 RPMs right off the rip.
No,
I mean, that's something you start up at 6 in the morning, and that thing is running till, I'm saying 8, 9, 10, 12 at night. Lights are on.
So what do you give it, 3 or 4 years?
No,
you got to let the glow plugs
give it 10 minutes to warm up, Jacob. Let's let the glow plugs warm up. Let's let the oil warm up. All right.
Clay, I'm staying out of this. I'm just going to let Emilio and Jacob go at it. I love it.
What do you think? All right, so we start with the cult. We got to cultivate. We're ripping up the ground. Then we got to get the seeder hooked up. Then halfway through, we got to go grab.
Here's what you do.
Are you talking?
You just
go cut the grass.
Is you draft them and then you let them sit behind Jones, and then you just you just let them sit and you let them sit and you let them sit, and then you let them work just a little bit, and he gains 2 yards, and you're like, he got 2 yards today. And then eventually he'll get to the point where he's giving you 0.5 out of 4 carries, and then you stick with him, right, Emilio?
Hey, he got us over 600 yards last year, Jacob. I think we need to take a step back here, okay?
You're an amazing person. You know that, don't you?
Go ahead, Jacob. You're up. I'm keeping score here.
I can't. There's
okay, maybe somebody didn't get out there early and grease all the pivot points on the tractor. Okay, maybe he was a little stiff. All right, and maybe we get through this.
He not only rambled, but he rumbled and stumbled.
Go ahead, Milio.
Right? We can get the Baylor out. What else do you want to? I mean, I know that Michael Scott's not allowed to touch the Baylor, but AJ Dillon can. Okay.
That's right. I know this. Week 2 preseason, AJ Dillon.
But the cream will rise
Thank
to
you.
the top. Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying they probably should have waited.
I'm
They should have.
guessing 50+ yards next game.
Let's go.
He's just going to run it down their throat.
What?
I'm just saying, in the future, let's just wait to give somebody the key to the city and make them the mayor before they can average over 0.5 per rush. All right. I'm glad that the guy loves fishing and bobbing for apples and going out to get cheese curds and everything. It'd be cool though if you could run the ball for a first down.
Hey, so Jacob, how do you feel about AJ Dillon?
Jacob, I bet AJ Dillon knows what a cannoli is.
Well, I bet he does. He spends a lot of his time there apparently instead of hitting the weights and being able to drive forward.
That's good, Jacob. That was good.
Unreal.
All right, let's get out of it. This show sucks. It sucked for about 15 minutes.
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Neither, Coach.
I thought what I just pictured me and Emilio arguing right there was when that she came down on a bubble dog. She was the Wicked West of the East, bro. Grow up.
Oh my God, I love it.
Oh man, Dennis, that's tough.
You guys are out of control, man. So, how about we do this? How about we give away a copy of Take Your Eye Off the Ball 2.0?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
Courtesy of United Baits, correct?
That's right. United Baits donated this. Let's get the pinky wheel up here.
There it is.
Can we get? Yeah, let's get a little more.
Oh man, rare form.
That's about as good as I can do there. All right, so anyone who is a member of our 3 tiers, one of our 3 tiers in our Patreon group, your name is on the wheel. So we're going to spin it. I just want to let, who is it there? Joe Stadler know. Joe Stadler know. Just because the pinky's pointing at you, bub, doesn't mean you win, okay?
How about these hands?
God, that pinky, bro. That bone is about to break the skin, man. There's no doubt about it. But. All right, so whoever it lands on, obviously going to win a copy of Take Your Eye Off the Ball 2.0, donated by the great United Baits. And it's
rigged, and I can't read, Bick.
I can't get past this profile picture. Did you guys
can't read, but apparently he can write.
Pull it back. Look at this profile pic. Pull it back up there.
All right. Whoa.
This guy, right?
Whoa,
get it off the screen.
That looks like a wrench.
Oh my goodness.
It did look like a wrench.
It's got some nuts and bolts for sure. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Somewhere Pat Kerwin's going, I cannot believe that my book is attached to this stupid show.
Eric said, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Oh man.
Patches.
I see what you did there. Here we go. Let's spin it. You ready?
Let's get it. Big money, no whammy.
Here we go. The winner of the copy of Take Your Eye Off the Ball 2.0 is Andre Hamilton.
Nice.
All right, congratulations, Andre. I will post. I'll post in the Patreon group that you won the copy of Take Your Eye Off the Ball 2.0.
I don't know if I recognize Andre. Does anybody remember Andre? I think I've seen him a few times in the chat.
Are you trying to steal his prize of it, or
say I'm Emilio? Yeah. No. No. Just reach out to us. You've just won a signed Take Your Eye Off the Ball by Pat Curran, signed by Chuck Norris. It's going to be a great one. Yeah.
It's Mandy's handwriting. It's Mandy's handwriting. That's Chuck Norris.
Exactly.
Chuck.
So, Andre Hamilton, congratulations, bub. Hey, thanks to everyone. This has been a fun show. I think it's absolutely a joke and hilarious that we win by how many points did we win by?
13.
13 points, 23-10. Jordan Love, 2 for 2. Touchdown bomb to Tay Wicks. And we're in here arguing about who's going to be the third string running back. It's just hilarious, man. Absolutely hilarious. So, Emilio, I'm rooting for AJ Dillon next week because you're going to rub his nose in it, aren't you?
He needs it. We need a bounce back.
Let's see if we can get him more than 4 carries, though.
Jacob went through there and found the next negative comment on Dillon.
It was the first one that popped up. He just said, Dillon is supposed to be in great shape. I haven't seen the game, so I'll watch tomorrow. So, Dead Fish, you come back tomorrow as we do our live stream at night, and you tell me if I'm wrong or if Mr. Emilio Racecar Bed's right.
You're telling me that Dillon's not in shape? That man is in shape.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
He's in shape.
Okay,
What
cool.
can you do? He's
I know
super
you
in
are,
shape.
but what am I?
You get me 0.5 yards per carry. That's good job, guy.
All right. Well, how about we check the offensive line blocking?
What was that? I couldn't hear you over the diarrhea.
I said, how about we check the offensive line's blocking on these plays here, and we'll go
All right.
from there.
That's fair. Yeah. 100%.
I love that Emilio's going to bat for his guy, man. I'm digging it. This is
Jeez.
I'm over here sitting pretty because
car.
Emmanuel Wilson's my guy, and he showed up and showed out today. So I'm staying out of this one.
all right. Anything else, fellas? Emilio, you got the floor here. Take the last jab at Jake.
Nothing. Hey, I'll let him have it. I want to go back and watch it again, but I think everyone's cutting on him a little bit too hard. I think AJ's going to come back and we'll be fine. We're going to need him, right? It is literally August, okay? So the season is long, and he is still out on the field. He, knock on wood, we're trucking right along. So I'm good with it, Jacob. We'll talk about this later.
Fair.
Dynamite drop in, Jake. All right. We're out of here. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us. This was a blast. Tim, it's so good to have you back on, man. Glad you're back in town. Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Actually, probably do a morning show. Tomorrow's Sunday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We'll do a morning show tomorrow at 8 a.m. Central. So if you find yourself rolling out of bed with a cup of coffee, look for us on YouTube. And then we'll go live again tomorrow night as well. We're in full swing. On the weekends, we'll be doing 2 shows, basically 2 shows a day. And then throughout the week, the goal is to do at least 1 show every day moving forward. We might get some bonus ones in there every now and again. But again, Emilio, Jacob, Tim, thank y'all so much, buddy. This was an absolute blast. So, for those of you listening on the pod, thank you for making us a part of
on the pod.
Thank you for making us a part. I missed that. Thank you for making us a part of your day. As always, let's go out and be a change we want to see in the world. And go Pack, go.